I'm talking to the back 40. I was raised in Cheryl, Oklahoma, and I am one of 5 children. I am the next to the oldest, and my dad and my mom still live out there, and they're coming up on celebrating 60 years of marriage. Let me tell you, I was raised in Oklahoma. I'm a third-generation Oklahoma. My grandmother came here walking by a covered wagon in 1910, which they came here from Ohio. It lived a rough life. But let me tell you a little bit about me. First, I want to introduce my husband, the love of my life, John Williams. And we also have our little grandson here with us. He's 10 and a half. And he's been to so many political meetings, he knows you vote Republican. He just knows that. I got involved with the Republican Party a little over 20 years ago. Some of the first things I did is I made phone calls to re-elect Tom Nichols as senator in 1986. I worked for a man who was running for governor at the time. He lost. And I remember standing in the parking lot after he lost and said, "Now what do I do?" And he said, "Get involved." And I go to church with this man still to this day, and he tells me, "Get involved." Because that's how we change the political landscape in our state and in our nation, and in our neighborhoods, and in our hometown. A little bit about me is I graduated from Cheryl High School, and I went to the College of the Ozarks. At that time, it was called the School of the Ozarks. Had to work your way through. And I worked 3.5 years in the president's office and learned from the greatest fundraiser I have ever known in my life. You could literally toss the shirt off of your back. College of the Ozarks to this day has the largest endowment in the state of Missouri and one of the largest endowments for a private college in the nation. I learned how to raise money, and I've done it for a number of organizations very successfully. And that's one of the things I like to bring to the party, and I've done it for the party. I've been county chair of Oklahoma County. When we started out, I had a little bit of a bank account. By the time it was all said and done, we paid over $1,500 a month in expenses, kept the doors open, had a volunteer there every day to keep the doors open, helped to elect George Bush for the first time. We elected a representative to a seat that has been held by a Democrat only. We did a lot in Oklahoma County, and when I left, we had given more money ever before to any candidate, and I left them with a bank balance of over $12,000 to get started for the next year. I raise money. I do it today, to this day. I work for the Health Science Center. I am with the Faculty and Staff Senate, and one of the things I do with them is to help them stay on task and stay on target. They're the 2 largest volunteer organizations on the campus, which, by the way, the campus is the largest employer dollar-wise per capita in the state of Oklahoma because of what the campus does. Our organizations, we raise money, and we do what we need to do to make our community at work beneficial. It's really an exciting thing. I've been on the campus for 6 years. For 2 years, I've been as the coordinator for the 2 Senate. The staff Senate has quadrupled, that's 4 times, what they used to raise. We did it because we make it a community. I just passed my evaluation yesterday because we get evaluated every year, and it's the highest evaluation you can get. It was the highest numbers you can get on the campus. And my boss, who knows I am running for state chair, said, "Cheryl, we want you to do the best because we know whoever you work for will be the best because you will give it 150%. She said, "We would hate to lose you, but we want you to do what you know will be right for your life." And if the Republican Party is lucky enough to get you as their chair, they're pretty darn lucky. Now, you have to understand, she's a Democrat. But she supports me because she sees the work I do and the success I bring. But it's not me that brings the success, it's the people who are the success. And I want to thank you all for coming out on a snowy, dreary day, because obviously you want to get involved. And I want to do what I can do to help us all be successful in 2010. I ask for your vote on April the 18th if you're a delegate to the state convention. And I ask for your prayers in the meantime, because only together will we win in 2010. Thank you, guys.
I'm Gary Jones. I'm current chairman of the Republican Party. I was born at Fort Sill. My dad was a sergeant in the Army, spent 24 years in the military. I'm one of 7 kids. I learned early the difference between needs and wants. Needs were things your parents gave you, and wants were things you went and earned yourself. I learned really early, too, that list of needs was real small. But I'll tell you that yesterday, I would love to have been to the American Majority event last night in Tulsa. I was signed up to go, but my son was graduating from Marine Artillery Scout school yesterday, also known as a Ford Observer. And I will tell you that I made the decision to be there, and instead of coming back up and going to Tulsa, we have a family farm, and he's the one that has taken care of the family farm and allowed me to travel throughout the state and do what I do. He's also left this morning at 11 o'clock, going to Coronado Naval Station in order to learn naval fire. And we had time to speak with the colonel, and I will tell you that the colonel said, you know what, he said, I want to tell you, you need to be proud of your son. These guys are the best of the best. He said, what he's going to do is he'll be there with the artillery, or with the infantry. He said, not only does he have to carry all the gear that the infantry carries, but he's got to carry a radio, and he's got to carry binoculars, because when they get in a tough spot, he's the guy that has to call in fire. If he doesn't do his job right, the Marines die. And I sat there with my dad, who was with me. He's 81 years old. And I realized the work ethic my dad instilled in me and the work ethic that we've instilled in my son. And I can tell you, I remember when he played football, they moved him from defensive end to nose guard when he only weighed 200 pounds because I said, why would you move him to nose guard? He said, because he's the toughest kid on the team. And you know what, folks, that's what it's about. Dr. Coburn has got it right. It's about the kids and grandkids. And the fact that we have squandered this nation. We're the first generation that's going to leave our kids worse off than we found it. I don't want to do that. I've got a degree in business administration. I went to Cameron University. I worked full-time going to college full-time. I graduated, and I'm now a certified public accountant. I'm a certified fraud examiner. I went to work for Bell Telephone at age 18. At age 20, I was the youngest manager in the history of the company. At 21, I was promoted again, and I did independent cost studies traveling around the state. 10 years later, I quit, started my own company with a part-time employee, and we built that company to 50 employees in 2 states and did over $5 million worth of business. In 1994, I decided to run for county commissioner because I was sick and tired of what was going on in government. I decided not to take a penny in campaign contributions, ran against a 10-year incumbent, outspent me 3-1. On election day, a guy said he won't get 20%. He's right, I didn't. I got 53%. But I'll tell you, what we did is we went in there, we made government more efficient, more effective, and I used to think that government was corrupt. When I became a county commissioner, I knew it was corrupt. I said it only takes 2 honest county commissioners to run an honest county. When I got elected, we were 1 short. But I tell you, in 2002, I ran for auditor because I knew the same thing. I didn't win that race, but yesterday my opponent and his wife reported to federal prison. And we uncovered that, along with the Gene Stipe scandal, all this other, and we uncovered that. As chairman of the Republican Party, we've elected more people under my leadership. We've raised more money than any chairman has ever raised. I've traveled more miles than any chairman has ever traveled. And in 2008, we had the best results of anybody in the nation. Because what we did, folks, to run for chairman one more time because what we do matters. We have a professional staff that has done an excellent job. Our team has been endorsed by Dr. Coburn. We want to make sure that we do the things necessary to make sure that we don't backslide to where we were at before, where the party was about raising money, handing it to consultants, and getting candidates elected. We've got the public, we've got the grassroots folks involved. We're moving forward, and we want to continue that movement, and I need your vote on April 18th. Thank you.